Okay, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Judith's already there. She's way ahead of me. Okay. Both feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart, and align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. There are certain things you could do in order to settle into your meditation. You could do, if some of you have a yoga practice or a qigong practice. I do Tai Chi Chuan as well. You can do a little bit of movement to sort of prepare the body for meditation. And I think the yoga practices were initially developed as preparation for meditation, as were some of the the yogic practices in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition as well. They were preparatory exercises for the more esoteric practices in Tibetan Buddhism. But for now, we're just kind of being a little bit aware of our body. So we're just sort of setting the stage and preparing the body so we are, the most conducive position, breath, chi, lymph, to be able to meditate. So this Vajrasattva meditation is in fact quite busy. So there's a lot happening here. We have we have a little bit of analytical meditation, we have visualization meditation, and we are also doing mantra. The word mantra means mind protection as well. So one of the things you can do with mantra is, if you're feeling angry or sad or something, if you can just remember, I'll just recite Om Mani Padme Hum. It kind of cuts through some of the delusions. Anyway, where are we? Crown of the head. Just release any tension in the crown and your face, your shoulders. Relax your body. Bring your attention to your breath, noticing the sensation as you inhale and exhale. Just allow yourself to settle using the breath. And be aware of any extraneous sound in your environment. So when we hear sounds, when we feel something touches us, or we can smell something, our mind goes towards that. And so try not to go and investigate anything, any external sensory information. Check in with yourself this evening, just this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are, and just maybe sort of think to yourself, hi, how are you? How are you doing? And try not to follow the thoughts or judge the thoughts. Just be objective and curious about what's there. And then bring to mind all those people of our life, our loved ones, our strangers, the ones we don't like, and just keeping in mind they're just the same as you and me, and they want to be happy, they don't want to suffer, and they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. as we're dedicating for all these various different people, for Kimberly and for Lou and, all the people in our group who might need a little bit of extra support right now. And then think about all the people sort of desperately trying to get away. I just saw on the news some Australians have just arrived home. So there's many different nationalities in Iran and Israel right now trying to get out. Safe passage for these people. There is no negativity that can't be purified. This purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can create positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So we're not looking for a higher power. So imagine Vajrasattva now above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face, non-judgmental, completely accepting however it is you're turning up this evening. Very pleased to see you. And he's sitting cross-legged, his arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right, the left holding a bell representing wisdom, the right holds a vajra representing the indestructibility of compassion. And when they're crossed like that, this represents the union of these two, wisdom, compassion, and that symbolizes enlightenment. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we've harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So this little section on developing compassion comes underneath reliance, because we need to rely upon other beings to develop compassion. So, you maybe think of someone who you find annoying or someone you've harmed. They can become an object of your compassion. You feel a wish for them to be free from suffering. And then you think about people who've harmed you, and particularly you wish for them to be free from suffering. And then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we think, and then we're using a mantra and visualization. So starting with the body, Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. Next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech, useless speech, talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, in all our inappropriate speech, speech that just is lacking wisdom. Excuse me, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Mebawal Sutukaya Mebawal Sipokaya Mebawal Anarakta Mebawal Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kamasita May Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind. And imagine Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So as instantaneously as when you flick on a switch in a dark room, the light that comes from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra and dispels all the negativity of the darkness of the negativity of your mind. So your depression, attachment, all your worries, anxiety, all the bitterness, all the grudges, resentment, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa, Situkaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anorakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta me boa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness, forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even these very subtle imprints of the negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So you imagine Vajrasattva sending the light and the nectar again, the nectar pushing down all the negativities of the body, the nectar flowing up, pushing out all the negativities of the speech, and then the light coming and blasting all those delusions. And it's happening all at the same time. And in this way, eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Te Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve and the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. This is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. So you've got to decide. Just decide. I don't want to harm. And so we have to be aware of the things that we're doing that do harm ourselves and others. So first of all, rejoice in your efforts for coming along this evening, in the middle of the day, wherever you are. And then think of something you'd like to work on. Some little tiny thing you do that's harmful, maybe. That you know is not really right, but you make an effort to think about giving that up. is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Lama Zopa Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And also think the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So we can dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy to all those people of our life, to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. In the names of Manjushri. The best and foremost of all great physicians, unequaled in removing thorns of pain, a tree providing medicine for all, a foe opposing every malady. The lovely crowning jewel of all three worlds, a cluster of the stars most glorious, the end of space in all its 10 directions, the hoisting high of Dharma's victory flag, sharing one large umbrella with the world, with love and kindness as his mandala, the celebrated lotus, lord of dance, pervasive with his precious parasol. Lots of love. Let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for all of your own individual teachers to live long.